Good morning and thank you for being here today. I want to talk to you about corporate social responsibility, and how it fits into health and safety management. We have a legal responsibility to provide our workers with safe systems of work, and I don't need to convince you that it is our moral duty to make sure every worker in our offices, our factories, or in a supplier's factory thousands of miles away can work safely and with dignity. But CSR is more than that. It's about ensuring our business operations and our supply chain are entirely aligned with our corporate values, so everyone is both safe and happy. In the next 15 minutes or so, I'll show you where we are now, why change is needed, who our stakeholders are and how we engage with them, and the steps we need to take to improve oversight and controls. By the end, you should see how CSR and health and safety performance are two sides of the same coin and how together we can make our company a more ethical and more competitive place. CSR stands for Corporate Social Responsibility, and it's about much more than good public relations. It's about running our business in a way that is ethical, sustainable and responsible to the societies where we work and live. It includes how we protect the health and safety of the people who manufacture our products. For much of our production, that means in factories that supply to us in developing countries. That model gives us flexibility and cost advantages, but it also means that when the conditions in those factories are not up to standard, the focus is on us. We have recently experienced significant reputational damage as a result of health and safety violations in parts of our supply chain. The focus of today's workshop is to look at how embedding CSR more fully into our health and safety management can help us move forward. To restore trust, improve working conditions and strengthen our relationships with our stakeholders. We'll explore the direct link between CSR and safety performance, the business motivations for doing this right, and how we can effectively engage our stakeholders from the very start. CSR's primary purpose is to ensure our business decisions and practices are sensitive to ethical, environmental and social issues. This in regards to health and safety means that all aspects of our production chain from product design to product delivery are performed in a way that protects people. This means thinking about the welfare of our workers is a normal and important part of all the decision-making processes. This can not only include meeting international standards such as ISO 45001, but also includes ILO standards and conventions. In addition, the more embedded our CSR is, the more likely it is that our health and safety culture is one where safety is as highly regarded as product quality or price. The better CSR is performed, the better our safety performance will be, which means fewer incidents, happier workers, and more productivity. In summary, CSR can make good intentions into real safety results. The connection between CSR and safety performance is direct and intrinsic. Adherence to ethical norms and practices naturally results in safer work conditions because those standards require it. Robust CSR policies cultivate a culture of open communication, which makes it easier for employees to report hazards without fear of reprisal. This transparency enables quicker responses, reducing the number of incidents. Beyond ethical obligations, there is also a solid business case. According to research by the International Labour Organization, ILO, companies with strong CSR frameworks report up to 40% fewer workplace accidents. Achieving excellence in safety also reinforces brand trust and operational reliability. CSR, therefore, is not just a feel-good policy but a quantifiable driver of both performance and resilience. There are a few reasons we should put the time, money, and effort into making CSR stick in health and safety. First, risk management. Avoiding legal, operational and reputational disasters like the one we just experienced. Second, regulatory compliance, not just following the letter of the law but the spirit of the law. Third, market differentiation. Customers are increasingly voting with their wallets and choosing the brands they trust. Fourth, investor relations. More investors are factoring ESG performance into their decision-making processes. Finally, workforce stability, safer conditions lead to lower turnover and absenteeism and higher retention and loyalty. All these reasons show that CSR in HNS is not just the right thing to do, it's the smart thing to do. The reason we should align CSR with health and safety is that it delivers strategic advantages. Our brand is stronger and more competitive. We have more reliable suppliers as they are those who can meet our expectations and are likely to remain steady and dependable business partners. We gain access to premium markets where responsible sourcing is a precondition. We also improve our relationships with regulators, NGOs, and local communities, which means less conflict or public criticism in the future. All these benefits are investments in our company's resilience. In order for our HNS CSR activities to be successful, it is important that we have a clear understanding of who our stakeholders are. Our primary stakeholders are those with a direct interest in our activities, these being our own employees, our suppliers and contractors, our investors, our regulators and, of course, our customers. Our secondary stakeholders, such as the local communities in which we operate and industry and business associations, may not directly affect our day-to-day operations, but are a major influence on the environment in which we operate. Stakeholder mapping, according to their level of influence and level of interest in our operations, allows us to tailor our communication and engagement activities to the stakeholders that matter most, making sure our efforts and resources are focused for the greatest effect. Engagement begins before policies are finalized. Step 1 is stakeholder mapping. Step 2 is consultation through surveys, forums or roundtables to understand their needs and expectations. Step 3 is open communication about our CSR objectives. Step 4 is active involvement in shaping the approach, particularly from those affected workers and suppliers. Step 5 is a feedback loop to track progress and adjust course if needed. This engagement process builds trust, promotes buy-in and reduces resistance to change. We have many tools we can use to make engagement meaningful. Internally, this could be CSR committees, internal communications platforms, and targeted HNS training. Externally, we can use supplier codes of conduct, joint HNS committees, and publicly available CSR reports. Technology can help too. Digital dashboards to monitor in real time, and anonymous reporting apps for workers. Selecting the right combination of tools will ensure that our engagement is more than just symbolic, but leads to tangible, measurable improvements. Engagement can be demonstrated in many ways. We could host annual supplier conferences to establish mutual expectations on safety. We could offer training to help suppliers understand ISO 45001 requirements, as well as recognition programs that offer public accolades to best safety performers. Joint audits, a process where we visit suppliers to do an assessment together, instead of a hierarchical audit, establishes a relationship of trust that encourages candid disclosure. Our suppliers need to see CSR as a partnership, not a cost imposition. Monitoring is enforcement's foundation. This means third-party audits, announced and unannounced, to evaluate actual working conditions. It also means using digital monitoring tools to offer real-time incident reporting and track progress on key safety performance indicators. Oversight, up to and including the board level, through a CSR oversight committee, is key to ensuring these issues are given the strategic focus they require. Monitoring ensures accountability, provides a basis for improvement and demonstrates to stakeholders that our commitments are matched by action. In summary, our way forward can be defined in 5 actionable steps. 1. Establish and enforce global ethical standards. We need consistent, global ethical standards across all regions and supply chains. This common benchmark will set the same bar for worker treatment and safety everywhere. Clear standards will lead to transparency and accountability for us and our business partners. 2. Embed health and safety requirements in procurement policies and contracts. Safety must be a fundamental part of the procurement process, not an optional addition. By embedding safety criteria in procurement decisions, we send a clear signal to suppliers that safety compliance is a non-negotiable part of doing business with us. 3. Develop a formal, structured stakeholder engagement framework. Regular and structured dialogue with stakeholders, employees, factory representatives, regulators, NGOs, community groups, not only provides us with insights but also builds mutual trust and credibility. It gives us the ability to see and respond to risks before they turn into incidents. 4. Leverage contractual and commercial power for compliance. As a global brand with significant reach, we have the power to elevate standards in our supply chain. Suppliers who want to do business with us in the long term will need to meet our expectations. 5. Implement robust monitoring and enforcement mechanisms. Independent audits, digital reporting mechanisms, and board-level oversight can ensure transparency, continuous improvement, and accountability. By following these 5 steps, we can provide a safer environment for workers, build a stronger reputation for our brand, and lead the way in ethical manufacturing. We will need to work on a 3-phase approach, with the first step beginning immediately. The short-term focus must be the implementation of an immediate supplier health and safety audit program. This will enable us to quickly assess and prioritize the most serious risks, such as the use of unsafe equipment or the absence of protective gear or emergency protocols. Swift action will communicate to our stakeholders that we are taking responsibility for the situation seriously and are committed to ensuring the safety of workers in our supply chain. It will also prevent further reputational damage and start the process of rebuilding the trust that has been lost. These audits will help us establish a baseline understanding of our current status and where our resources are needed most urgently. The medium-term focus needs to be on incorporating CSR performance metrics into all supplier contracts. This will make compliance with ethical and health and safety standards a contractual obligation rather than a voluntary initiative. Suppliers will be required to demonstrate continuous improvement and transparency in their operations, which will be monitored regularly. By embedding these standards into our procurement process, we will place accountability at the core of our supply chain management. This phase is about moving the responsibility from a matter of goodwill to a fundamental requirement for doing business with us. The long-term focus should be on positioning our company as a recognized industry leader in ethical sourcing and safety excellence. This is about more than just preventing violations, it is about setting new standards that others will aspire to. By building partnerships, sharing best practices, and consistently going above and beyond minimum compliance requirements, we can demonstrate that CSR leadership is compatible with strong business performance. This will help us attract and retain customers, win the confidence of investors, and maintain our reputation in global markets. Long-term leadership is how we make today's efforts a sustainable competitive advantage. The sooner we start this journey, the sooner we can begin to rebuild trust with our stakeholders, improve safety performance throughout our supply chain, and secure our market position for the future. What is at stake is not only our reputation but the well-being of thousands of workers, the sustainability of our business model, and the opportunity to lead our sector by example. CSR isn't just about compliance, it's about making shared value for everyone who touches our business. When we take care of our workers, we are investing in our communities, our supply chain, and our own long-term success. This is an opportunity to turn challenge into leadership, and I think we are ready to do that. I will now take your questions and comments. Please share your insight about how to best customize these programs.